lot of people ask, okay, how can I watch this later? And it will be there. I'll drop the links. But right now it's 5 o'clock, and thank you. So, good evening and a very, very warm welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. So, I'm excited because, my husband told me about this, and he told me about Triansha, and he told me about Seema, about something called Flawsome. So, today we're very lucky to be doing this workshop, Be Flawsome, Love the Body I Am, with Seema Nayak and Triansha Tandon of Flawsome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sukirti Gupta. I'm one of the co-founders of Sipping Thoughts. Sipping Thoughts is a multi-platform media company that was co-founded by me and by Meeta Gukutia. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts. We wanted to create a space for women to share their ideas and to be heard. A no judgment platform where we want to create a network of women for women and, of course, the men that support us. Sipping Thoughts reaches about 2 million women on a monthly basis. We're available on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course, the website. Please do check us out. Lots of interesting and amazing, amazing content there. So be flawsome, be awesome. I mean, I think I just love the play on words. Today, we have an invitation to a skin deep, gentle exploration into body image and related issues. And no matter what, we all suffer a little bit from these body image issues. What is body image? It's a person's perception of their physical self and the thoughts, the feelings, which could be positive or could be negative, which result from that perception. And what are we going to do today? Flossom is a journey of self intimacy, meaning you getting to know yourself, to acknowledge and appreciate flossomeness in ourselves and also in others, so that we can continue to shape our lives with authenticity and authentic power. Flossom is a program, it's an initiative. It is facilitated by Seema and Triansha, who both have a combined experience of over 2 decades, and they are the founders of Flossom. So, a little bit about them because they bring definitely a very varied experience. Seema is a trained mental health counselor, a certified psychodrama director, and a positive psychology advocate. She has been trained a counselor in sexual health and well-being. She's a certified psychodrama director and a positive psychology advocate. In her previous avatar, she was an MBA graduate and has run her family business for 16 years. Her quest is to do something more meaningful, and that got her to switch careers. So she is currently the co-founder of not one, but two organizations, Vahi Nadi and Flosser. So welcome, Seema. And now a little bit about Triansha, her partner, who brings very complementary different skills. Triansha brings us 14 years of experience in learning and development. She is a communications consultant and a behavioral skills facilitator and coach. She has facilitated workshops for corporates and educational institutions for over 14 years. Among many organizations, she has worked for McKinsey and Company. Most of you may know McKinsey as a communications specialist. So welcome, Seema and Triansha. We're so excited to have you on Sipping Thoughts today. So before we get started, I know everybody is waiting to delve into the program, but I want to ask you a question. Given that both of you are hearing from a lot of women, are meeting so many women, whether it be virtually or online, what are some of the biggest issues that you're seeing that they're facing?
I noticed that it's mostly about, the blurring of the boundaries. It used to be that work was work and home was home. And that is causing a lot of issues with personal space, personal time. There isn't much of that anymore. So that's causing a lot of other issues to come along. Like there's depression, there's a lot of trying to figure out how to time manage and all of that kind of stuff. So that's the main thing that's coming up that I have noticed. Yes.
Any other issues that you're seeing that are becoming very prevalent as we are stuck in the lockdown?
Yes. During the lockdown, the whole boundary has blurred even more between handling home and handling work as well. And also for people who don't work as, have a different work environment, but do work at home, it has changed as well. So, because all of it is work, right? Even the housework is work. So even that has changed. It has become more. It has become people who were used to stay outside the home have now started staying at home, like your kids or your spouse or your partner. So so the nature of that has changed, and also there is issues of feeling, which most of us are feeling, about being alone, being isolated, not having people to talk to about the real issues, real feelings, so have meaningful conversations that help each other. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we really thought about Flawsomeness, to have those real, authentic conversations with.
So maybe you can delve into that, because that is my next question. So what made you in your journey, first of all, come together and create the program Flossom? A little bit of a glimpse, which we're going to get today.
So Flawsome actually started quite organically. We just had very similar thought processes, ideologies. We both wanted to work on gender and gender related issues. And it just took off from there. We decided that we will start with one program, and it's just blooming from there. We just, it's just taking off on its own.
I know we are very, very fortunate that we are able to get a glimpse of this program that actually you're doing for a lot of corporates, a lot of other companies, and a lot of people out there. With that, I think that ends my questions. I know everybody is waiting to get started with the Blossom journey. So I hand it over to you, Seema. Seema, welcome to Sipping Thoughts. Triansha, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just I'd like to sort of give a caution to everybody. Body image is a triggering topic, and therefore I'd like all of us to just take a couple of minutes to just think about a resource that we'd like to hold on to. It could be someone or something that we would like to reach out to or do right after the program if we feel like it's overwhelming for us. All right. And we will be leaving our numbers so you can reach out to us if you have any issues. Okay. So a person that you can reach out to, a friend, a relative, anyone you can think of, please keep them in mind. Or if you usually, listen to music, or you like to just chill with some beer or something like that, anything that gets you to be in a lovely space, just keep that in mind, and we'll take off from here. Yeah. What we'd ask you to do first is just rename yourself, or put it into chat as to how do you see your body, and give it a title. Okay. So
When is it a one-word title, or how should we be?
it could be just a word, it could be a couple of words, just a title. Like mine is, I'm going to rename.
I just renamed myself Harry 3.
Okay, I'm going to allow everybody to rename themselves. 1 second.
Beautiful, says Dimple. Pleasantly chubby. That's so Kirti. Awesome. Rolly saying fit and athletic. Swati Sharma saying positive.
Ponchi Seema. Seema has renamed herself. So I'm just reading some of the people that have actually renamed themselves. So go ahead, Vivacious. Somebody has renamed themselves. Love it.
Pooja is calling herself Blissy. Sukriti is saying Kuchi Ku Teddy. Oh, lovely.
Harry is somebody is naming themselves Harry.
As what?
Harry.
Well, that's me also.
That's you. Fantastic. Vivacious Vimla. Swapnali. Okay, that's, yeah.
Miss
That's amazing, Malika.
Miss Imperfect, chilled out. Very nice.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can continue to rename yourself. I've opened it out to everybody. Blissed, beautiful, and brilliant, Janet says. Jean says, okay. Great.
Okay.
Another chubby.
Lovely.
Great.
So as you guys keep continuing to add on and give us some of your titles, we'll continue. I'm going to share my screen now.
Young and beautiful says Trupti.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is think about two different things. One is my body as I see it, and my ideal body. Now, both could be the same or they could be different. It could be that there are some things that are similar, that are the same in my body as I see it in my ideal body, and there are some things that are different. So, the first thing that we want you to think about is really what are some of the triggers that get you to start thinking about your body.
So it could be you're just looking into the mirror the first thing in the morning and you have a bad hair day. It could be a comment
when you're looking in the mirror.
Please do share with us. So what triggers you when to think about your body? For me, definitely when I'm getting ready, I'm exercising.
When I'm looking at somebody else who seemingly looks better than I do, and I get caught in the whole social comparison trap.
That's definitely true. When clothes don't fit.
Yeah.
Either when they're loose or when they're tight.
Yeah. So, Kuchiku Teddy's saying when I look at a slim person. Okay. For me, it's definitely when I look at people exercising. When I crave to eat something unhealthy. When I'm meeting someone for the first time.
Okay. Zoom, because you have to look at yourself all the time.
Yeah, how many of us put our hair and everything just before it started? I did.
When you feel what you're wearing, could have done better. I'm very curious about that. Dr. Vandana Saxena says when you feel what you're wearing. When I see someone fitter than me.
How about when someone says something to you?
That is one of my biggest triggers, and it's about people who are close to me, whom I love, and whose opinion matters to me, and they say something about
me.
And that is definitely a trigger for me.
Well, it couldn't, I mean, for me, even if it's not somebody close to you, I think anytime that somebody does make a comment, whether it be a positive or negative, it does make you think about your body. Somebody could say, hey, you're looking great, looking very thin in that, or it could be like, oh, that outfit is not suiting you, or that you've gained weight.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone makes a comment. And of course, the biggest one is, television, Netflix, whatever, all of that.
Magazines.
And magazines and magazines that talk about a healthy body image and then give you 10 tips on how to have a flat ab.
What are people saying?
So when a friend has lost a lot of weight and many compliment that person, Kuchuku says most of the time, social media is the biggest culprit. Yes, I feel a lot of these filters are also definitely a big culprit. Because when you see a photograph of yourself and then your biggest go-to is saying, oh, let me filter this.
Yeah, when going shopping and things don't fit right. Thank you, Kuchiku Ted. Teddy.
Okay, the next thing is when I see my body, what do I perceive? So that means what do I see with my senses? So that is what we are defining as perceptual. When I see my body, what is it that I perceive?
So it could be about shape, it could be color, it could be the weight itself. So how I'm seeing my body, how I perceive it, and what am I saying my ideal body needs to be.
Yes, we do tend to focus on that one thing that is not working for us. That becomes acutely focused.
Beautiful and uniquely curved.
Awesome.
Triansha, we lost you for a bit. If you could repeat that.
Okay, is this better?
Yes.
All right.
Pumpkin elephant is how I see it. Okay. I need to work on my body to get back in shape. A little overweight.
Okay, thank you. So now let's get in a little deeper and let's start thinking about when we see our bodies, what do we feel? What are the three feelings that come up for us? Just three feelings. Okay, depressed and upset. Fat. The fat and unfit, again, it is a thought, it is not a feeling. So, what feeling do you have? So, can we show the feelings wheel, Seema?
Yeah.
So, choose from any of these.
My dark circles make me look like a ghost.
Yes.
Feelings of embarrassment and failure. Guilt. Don't want aging to catch up with me. I've never felt my body lonely. Oh. My body is unique, hateful and hopeless, inadequate.
Very happy with your body in general. Amazing.
Angry, why me? Why can't I reach that figure which
Guy won't accept me. Turning into a
that's
panic. Annoyed, disappointed. Sentimental, inadequate, cheerful. Amazingly mysterious. Unhappy being overweight. Now, and some of you have already started sharing this. What are three adjectives that you associate with your body right now? Three adjectives. So one of the adjectives that I associate is definitely hairy. And the other one is bony.
With my body, it's paunchy, stomach, flabby hands, little parts here and there, which I could do better with. Pretty eyes, beautiful hair, great height. I'd like to add lovely eyes,
Yeah.
aging, paunchy, flabby. I
also think reached goal weight.
Thin, lazy, paunchy, beautiful eyes and good hair. Smart, attractive, big belly.
These are just some of the things that we can start to notice. What happens to most of us is that there is an inner chatter going on inside our heads when we are thinking about, when we are looking at our bodies, and we really focus on those chatter. We don't necessarily always focus on, one, the feelings in that instance, and two, the body itself. What are the sensations in the body itself? Those are the two things that we leave out, and we pay special attention to the chatter. So the first thing to get aware of is that there is a chatter, and it's not always helping. Sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't, but to get aware.
I'm noticing that along with the flaw, there is the awesome. That's beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. There's fluffy chashmish and ravishing hips.
Even Jasmine, fair, good height, eyes, glowing skin. Very positive.
Janet is sweet, pretty smart, and short in height. There's both. I have both.
Yeah.
Nice. There's chubby, tall, and amazing. Ravishing, voluptuous, and flabby. Nice. There's already a the fun, the awesome that's coming. Yay! Average Indian height, short and hot and slightly hairy. Nice. Could you share? Yes. Thank you for asking. Okay. Just want to check in once more. How is everybody feeling after this particular exercise? Before we move on, would everybody just like to let us know? Flawsome? Insightful? Just want to hopeful, self-aware, nice, focused. Good to hear. A bit scary. Hang in there, Kuchi. Cool, Teddy. We're with you. Getting to know ourselves better. Good to hear. That's what we've been hoping for. Enthusiastic. More present. Aware. Thank you. Acknowledging bodies. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And in fact, perhaps this is a good time to just become aware of your body right now. As you are sitting, reclining, lying down, to just feel your body from the feet down all the way to your head. And notice what thoughts come up, notice what feelings come up, do not judge those feelings and thoughts. Just let it be, just notice.
So we'll move on to the next one. Again, I'm going to be sharing my screen. Now that we've made, what we've been doing so far is we've been observing ourselves. We've been observing what we've been thinking, what we've been feeling, and how we have been perceiving ourselves. The next one is to look at, is it really true? Are we really, hairy and paunchy and so on? And if that is the case, is that okay? Maybe if there are people that we know who are going to be really mean to us about our body, what can we do to make sure that we are not going to be hurt? That's the preparedness part of it. How can we set boundaries? Does anybody have anything that they'd like to share? Maybe there is an instance that they can share with us, if they're okay with it.
I think there's a question that's come from Richa. That
Yeah.
how do we set boundaries? That's a very difficult one.
And please remember, these boundaries are with ourselves as well.
Yes.
They are with ourselves and with others.
So how do we set boundaries? Get aware of how we are feeling when someone is saying something to us. Okay. If we are feeling bad about it, say it out loud, saying that, I hear you say this and this is how I'm feeling about it. I'd like you to stop.
Yes, so we're talking about two kinds of boundaries. One is when we have the self-talk, the chatter. And if the chatter is serving you, that's fine. Yay, be your own cheerleader. If the chatter is not serving you and it's leaving you in the uncomfortable emotions, in the uncomfortable space, how do we let that go? How do we let the chatter go? So the first thing that we've been talking about is, yes, to notice the chatter and see how it's serving us.
So sometimes Richa is saying, sometimes we find it difficult to accept compliments about our body. Yes. Because in our minds, there is X issue. People either, so how do we deal with that? Ask oneself as to why are we having an issue with accepting compliments? What are we saying to ourselves about ourselves? What are we assuming that the other person is saying? For example, for the longest period of time, I didn't accept that I could be nice to look at. It was always that, I had I didn't look good enough. And then I'd in my head, I'd say, they just want to make me feel good, or they're just saying it, and I discount it because I wouldn't believe those compliments for myself.
So I'm noticing, Seema, thanks for sharing that, because that's really interesting. I'm noticing two things in the comments. One is that when we think a certain way about ourselves, it doesn't matter whether we're getting a criticism or a compliment. We will end up feeling uncomfortable and bad. So it is clearly not the relationship with others that we need to look at, but our relationships with our own bodies. And yes, to pay attention to that chatter. And how do we transform it?
Yeah. So the last step that body image is a big issue. So we're looking at starting with just one change that we can make. And when we observe and we are listening to our chatter, and then we can make that one change each time. So today we have taken up the title of our bodies that we have given ourselves. Can we look at that and can we try and reframe that one title that we've given ourselves?
And what we also have are 2 exercises that we would like to introduce that perhaps you can take on every day, because one of the things that we do, that we say you do is, yes, observe. Second is assess and prepare. And the third is ground ourselves. So Seema is going to demonstrate an exercise to be able to do that. And because this is an exercise to do with the body, so I'd request all of you, if possible, to sit as comfortably as you can and just shake your arms and legs out a little bit, just a little bit. And keep your shoulders relaxed.
As much as you can, feel your legs on the ground. Okay. So what I'll request all of you to do is take a deep breath in. You can close your eyes or just lower your gaze, right? Just feel the seat that you're sitting on. Feel your legs on the seat. Feel the support. Feel the support along your back. As you're taking a breath in, just sink into that support. Feel as much of your body, your feet on the ground, your legs and your buttocks on the chair, your back supported, your hands probably on the armchairs, on the handles. And as you're breathing in, just feel the gentle breeze right at your lips and then into your nostrils. And then that same breeze is blowing into your body, into your skull. You can feel it lightly expand and then fall back. Moving to your shoulders. You can feel it lightly expand and fall back. Your chest cavity, lightly expand and fall back. your torso. Lightly expand and relax. Your hips. Lightly expand and relax. Your legs and your arms. Lightly expand and just fall back. Notice your entire body. Expand just a little bit. Just feel that, like you've been given a little massage and it's just expanding and opening up. And then it's falling back. It's relaxing. It's grounding. And whenever you're ready, you can come back to the room. So that was a body scan, and you can do that in various ways. And that's how you can ground yourself. Triansha will take us through the next.
Sure. Thanks, Seema. One more thing I like to do is I like to thank my body for each part, for letting me do the things it lets me do every day. Takes all the maltreatment I do of it and the good treatment, and it lets me do it. So I thank my body for that. So the next thing we're going to do, it is again a little bit of an exercise with the body. So I'm going to encourage, I know lots of you are not on video, so I'm going to encourage you to try this anyway, and Seema will be demonstrating so you can watch her. So the first thing I want you to do is think about one thing in your body that you don't find comfortable. It can even be the name you gave yourself that you don't find attractive or you don't find ideal.
Someone very aptly put it, when I sit down and I look at my paunch, it just bulges out like that.
Absolutely. Now what I want you to do is I want you to exaggerate that. Exaggerate that posture that you've taken. Whatever body part it is, stick it out, exaggerate it. And whatever dialogues that you say to yourself at that point, say them.
It's so big.
Keep repeating those dialogues.
It's so big and it's so flabby and it moves around.
Yeah, and say this. Continue saying those dialogues.
It's so big and flabby and it keeps moving around.
Yeah. Keep saying them, Seema.
It's so big and flabby and it keeps moving around.
Yeah. Can't manage anymore. Stop coming out. All of that. There are emotions associated. There's sadness and there's anger.
Don't bulge. Just go. Just stay inside. Don't come out.
Now, Seema, what we're going to do is we're going to make one change in the way that you are sitting, in the way that you're holding your body. Make one change. Just any change. Make one change. Okay. Now, whatever dialogues that you want to say them.
Well, it helps me to digest my food and gives me the energy that I need for the entire day. It reminds me that I have a beautiful daughter. It gives me love. It's there for me all the time, throughout the day, and without complaining and without doing anything. It's just there with me. all the time.
Great. Now I want you to make another change. And this time when you change, release that. Release that feeling. What change do you want to make to release that? Any small change in how you're sitting. And if you feel like standing, just stand up.
See me, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now say whatever dialogues are coming to you. This time we are releasing it.
Thank you for being with me. Thank you for digesting everything that I eat. Thank you for expanding when I needed you to expand. Thank you for, you were really big and you've gone back down and you can go down some more. So I'll work with you and I will get where I want to get.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Seema. Thank you everyone for whoever tried that exercise. If you didn't try it now, do try it on your own. This is how we can make a change. You will notice that if you've tried this exercise, you will notice that whatever posture that you're with, your body wants to already release that. Release the thought, release the sensation, release the uncomfortable feeling. And ultimately, because it's about perception, our own. Now, what we'd like you to do is think about one thing in your body that you want to really celebrate. I know that some of you already wrote some beautiful things and some wrote not so beautiful things. Just one thing that you'd like to celebrate, just rename yourself as that.
Kirti says, my smile. Lakshmi says, my eyes. Oh,
Constant liveliness.
coincident.
Eyes.
Celebrate myself. Eyes. Beautiful smile and eyes.
My eyes, my new cup.
Beautiful soul ready to bounce back. My life, my responsibility. My hands that can do wonders.
Also, my opinion.
Yes, cheerful. A positive soul.
Acceptance. What is it that you're accepting? Height.
I love myself.
We're saying one thing that you're celebrating.
Mind way. Celebrating a better figure. Beautiful soul. I am healthy. Yes. Wonderful affirmation. My frame of mind never lets me down. My existence.
All of me. Amazing, Varsha.
Spontaneity.
Mhm.
The question, Sweta, was that just one thing that we would like to celebrate, just
About our bodies.
about our bodies.
What are you celebrating? Adaptability, beautiful. Mhm. Okay.
So I think that takes us a little bit into kind of exploring our body, thinking about it. But I think a lot of questions probably have come up in your mind and possibly in mine. But I would like to ask that. So when we are, I mean, we have done these exercises, we think about our body, but how do we actually change that perception and start to accept our bodies?
It starts with being aware of what we are saying about ourselves. To be aware of that chatter, and where is that chatter coming from?
So even once we are aware of the chatter, then how do we kind of, are there exercises or things that we should be doing to control the chatter, or how do we deal with it so that we say, yes, I am really accepting the body? Or is it just that we are putting kind of a cocoon around it and are really not getting to that phase of saying, I really accept my body the way it is?
So I would like to add to what you said is I would love to accept my body the way it is. I'm also accepting the chatter that I have about my body. I'm becoming aware of it. I'm accepting that I'm talking about myself like that. Then it is up to me to check whether this is helping me or not. And if it is not, then we can do the two things that we just practiced. We can ground ourselves and we can do the make a change. We can literally make a change and change the chatter.
So if you noticed, what we did was that we gave it a balance because we were so focused on the negative aspect of it. We also gave it a balance by looking at the positive. What does it give us? How does it function for us? What are we grateful for because it exists? And while this, it does seem like it's so simple, we just have to do this one little change and it makes a difference. It's not all that simple. It is something that, as Triansha said, it's something that we'll have to do every day. So every time we have this trigger that comes up, we're going to have to observe what it is that we're saying to ourselves. How is it that we're feeling? Then make that assessment of, is it true for us? Is it working for us? And then make that change. It is a process, it's not something that can happen overnight.
Yes, Richa, looking in the mirror and talking to ourselves is a great way. And being aware of what we are saying the things that help us feel empowered. Absolutely.
So, a beautiful soul is asking a question. Would you like to ask it yourself? I would love to unmute you. Uh, go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, beautiful soul.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to ask, like, whenever we get any negative comments, like, तुम बहुत मोटे हो, कुछ करते क्यों नहीं हो, मतलब बार बार हमें ऐसे बोलते हैं, तो हमेशा हम उनको ये नहीं कह सकते कि चुप हो जाओ, मत बोलो, और अगर हम उनको मना करते हैं तो बार बार वो उसी चीज को हमें याद दिलाते हैं कि तुम्हारा तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता, तुम ऐसे ही रहने वाले हो। वो कहीं ना कहीं डिमोटिवेट कर देता है। हम अपने आप से बात करके भी थोड़े टाइम के लिए तो शांत कर लेते हैं मन, लेकिन जो मैक्सिमम टाइम जो वो ट्रिगर कर रहे हैं उसको हम कैसे अपने आप को मतलब कंफर्टेबल फील करा सकते हैं? इज देयर एनी वे आउट?
When they are saying what they are about you, you need to check in as to what you're saying about yourself as well.
Okay.
So
I have an example, Seema. May I share that from this this sipping thoughts thing? When I shared the poster, with two people that I know, the first thing that came was, "What have you done with your hair? What is that top you're wearing?" And these are people I care about. So one thing that I noticed was that the first thing when I looked at the Sipping Thoughts poster, when I looked at my own photo, the first thing I thought of was, oh, this orange is clashing with the pink. That was my first thought. And then I saw that because I was being so critical of myself, I noticed that other people are just mirroring me in some ways. If I did not think there was anything wrong, really from inside I was aware, then perhaps I would have been able to handle the other people saying what they did a little better.
Okay.
As it is, I got angry.
Thank you so much.
And I said, I will tell the people in the conference about this. It's on body image and you're commenting on my photo.
But I think it's very hard because I think we do have this tendency to be very harsh on ourselves, and people do also tend to make comments. I mean, that is something that is a very common part of society.
yeah, it is, especially in our society. I mean, it's very common to say you've put on weight, and therefore there is whoever has come here to be a little bit, to be not just a little bit, but to be more mindful of what you're saying to other people, of how you're saying, how they may be feeling. Just to be mindful of that, to be empathetic towards them as well. We don't know what the other person's story is. And so let's be more mindful of what we say and how we say what we're saying. For ourselves, can we be more compassionate and kind to ourselves? Are there some things that perhaps we can change? How do we want to change it? Are there some things we cannot change? Can we let go? And if we are not able to do it ourselves, can we reach out and get the kind of support that we need to help ourselves to let go, to help ourselves make the change that we want to make? If we want to make it, if we don't, let's celebrate who we are and what we are. I know I know that this perhaps sounds really cliched and, easy to do while one is saying it. And it's not that easy. It's the work. It is that we need to put that work in. We need to look at what we're saying to ourselves.
So Sheetal is saying that means the first step comes from acceptance.
Absolutely. And there's a step 0 also, observing, becoming aware. That is the first step, because a lot of times we are not even aware of what's Sukriti, you talked about what you talked about was the inner critic, that we are not even aware of the inner critic most of the times, and what is it saying to us. We don't notice it, we just let it go on and talk and then affect us. So to first just notice.
So Chubby, please go ahead and ask your question. My soul sister, go ahead. She's asking, how do you change the self-thought?
Oh, okay.
I feel it's very difficult to be positive throughout. When you live in such a competitive world, sometime or the other, everyone keeps saying something or the other. At times, we really try hard to be positive and think all good and accept ourselves. But becomes, because saying is easier.
Yeah. The acceptance is not necessarily about being positive about it. It exists. There is the layering that we're doing is saying that it is good or bad. Is just what it is.
We have millions of thoughts every day, and we are only conscious of very few, a very small percentage of those thoughts. And after a while, it's just, if we start just noticing them, we will be able to let them float in and out. They'll just float in and then float out.
So I will ask you the last question, because a lot of the media, Bollywood, all of this gets a bad rap because there's a stereotypical way that we think that we should look, or there's a stereotypical way that people feel that this is what is beauty, or this is what is the definition of a body and an image. So these constant messages that we are bombarded with, I mean, you can build up your self-esteem, but it's very easy for it to be pulled down also very quickly.
So that's the triggers part. The triggers, whatever the social media and whatever, we're just swallowing it whole. We're not questioning whether that is really beauty, whether that is really how we feel. That's the ideal body that we're talking about. Okay, so again, to go back to ourselves and to ask ourselves as to how am I perceiving myself? The way I'm perceiving myself, because there are a lot of times when we receive compliments and we say no, that it's not the truth, right? So we start with, that's why we ask you to make just one change. Start with one thing, because when you're taking all of it together, it's difficult because there's so much that we get bombarded with. So one step at a time. Observe what we're saying to ourselves. Observe what we are feeling when someone else is saying, or when we're bombarded by these triggers. What is it that we're saying? Assess that. Bring about that balance. Bring about the, we are focused on the negative. What is also the positive? What is it in reality? Can we remove those layers of judgment that we are holding on ourselves?
Thank you. I think Swati has also had a nice comment. She says, accept your flaws unconditionally. And we need to accept the fact that nobody is going to be perfect, but we can always set realistic goals for ourselves. So with that, though, we are out of time. I wanted to get your last thoughts, both from you, Triansha, and from Seema, before we sign off for tonight.
Yes. One thing that I'd like to add to this whole discussion on accepting flaws is also about how does it make us behave. to become aware of that as well. As soon as we become aware of the thoughts, we'll be aware of why are we behaving in a certain way. And the other thing is, Swati, what you just said, that literally just sums up Flawsome. That is what we are about, being able to accept flaws and know that I am good enough already.
Fantastic. So Tulika wanted to say something. I'm just lowering. Tulika, go ahead. Go ahead, Tulika. No, okay. Any last words from you, Seema?
I just want to say thank you to all of you for trusting us with, being here and listening to what we had to say and accept, just being open to what we had to offer. So thank you very much for being on this journey with us.
With that, thank you all for joining us, and we wish you all a very, very good night. So if it was a little bit of a gentle exploration, maybe it has provoked some thought in you. So if you do want to go back and see the video, it is available on our Facebook page. It is available on our YouTube. Please do check out Sipping Thoughts. It will be available there. Thank you all, and I wish you all a very, very good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.